Hey, welcome back to the channel. Today we've got the Overtime 2 puzzle box for you, or the OT2 puzzle box. So this is a wooden puzzle box, there's a couple of steps to open it, and it comes in a couple of different designs. So I'm going to be having a look at the mandala one, but we've also got the skull one and the phoenix one, so they've all got the same solution to them, just a different design on the top here. They've got a couple of steps, pretty cool little puzzle box. There's a decent amount of space inside these as well. Difficulty wise, I think these are probably kind of mid-level to harder. Somewhere like a 6 or 7 out of 10 probably, but a fun one. I really like these. I really like the original one. This has had an extra step added to it to make it a little bit more difficult. I think it makes it quite a bit more challenging, but it depends what your experience is with puzzles. So let's take a closer look at it. Okay, so let's take a closer look at this box now. So on the top here you can see a mandala design, and there's also this key engraved on the top as well. So could that possibly be a clue? Maybe. On here you can see that there looks like the top panel is going to slide off. But obviously at the moment it's locked in place. We've got two dials here that spin all the way around. And if you have a closer look, you can see there's some engraving on those two. And I bet some people have probably guessed at this point at least one step on the puzzle. Around the side as well, there's this little wooden slider that moves a little bit in and out, but it doesn't want to go very far. And on the back panel, there's nothing there. So it's a good size puzzle box, this one. With the extra step that they've added from the original, it makes it definitely a little bit harder, a little bit tougher to solve it. Not massively difficult though, it is achievable, and I really like this one. I think it's really fun. Slightly different one, you discover something to use along the way, and we're going to have a look at that next. So if you have been enjoying the video, please give us a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, it really helps us out. If you want to check this one out, I'll leave a link in the description down below for it, and we're going to take a look at the solution next. So if you don't want to see that, I recommend you stop watching at this point. Okay, so let's have a look at these dials. So as I mentioned earlier, I bet some people have already guessed what these are. You can see the dots and dashes engraved here on the dials, so you can spin them around. So we've got two dials, and if everybody has clocked that it's going to be Morse code, then we're going to be needing to think about two letters. So you've got to figure out what two letters you want to be finding. The name of this box is the Overtime 2 box, or also the OT box. So my first thought when I got this was to try O and T. The Morse code for O is 3 dashes, and the Morse code for T is a single dash. From that point, you might think that the top is then going to slide off, but it doesn't slide. When you line them up, you can actually pull one of the dials out completely and take a look at that. It looks like a key, super cool. And the obvious place to put it, there on the key symbol. If you do that, you can feel there's a little bit of a pull. So it's actually magnetic. I think there's a magnet embedded here in this piece, and it pulls up a pin. At that point, on the original, that was the solution. The top slid off. On this one though, it's not going to slide off. So this bar at the bottom looks like it's blocking it. You can move it slightly, but it doesn't want to move any further than that. So that indicates there's probably going to be something along the line of this bar that's blocking the bar from sliding any further and the panel from opening. So what we're looking for is a pin or something that's hidden in here, and it's actually a magnetic pin over here that's holding it in place. What we need to do is have this bar lined up in the correct position, and from that point we're going to need to release that magnetic pin, and in order to do that you just need to give the box a fairly decent bash. And it does take a little bit of positioning. You need to have the wooden bar at the bottom positioned exactly the right way in order to be able to get that pin to drop down for it to slide out. So this might take a little while. So that's it, that was the right position. So once you've slid the bar through there, it goes through further than it did before. Then you can slide the top panel all the way off. You can see inside there quite a decent bit of space. You can see the two holes here on this bar, so that's where the pins were holding it in place. And then there's also this cutout here. So on the underneath of this piece, we've got this little wooden notch catching on that. We've got the pin that was dropping down. When we use the key, that retracts it back up, and the little pad that connected with the other magnetic pin on the other side. So in order to lock this back up, all we need to do is just reverse that process with the key still on it to hold that pin up. If I can get it actually lined up. So there we go. So there we have it, the Overtime 2 puzzle box. A really cool little puzzle box. I really love a puzzle that has something that where you find tools, comes out, and then you use it to open the box or to solve the puzzle. And yeah, it's not too difficult. Obviously, you've got these side bits, and people are going to probably clock the solution to this one fairly quickly, but it does have that extra little step, which I think adds quite a bit of difficulty to this one, but with a bit of reasoning, I think most people will be able to solve this one. Also, a really nice size puzzle box. I think this looks really cool on the shelf. So that's it for today's video. We'll hopefully see you in the next one.